business in just 7 months. I created a persona, a version of myself who was a millionaire. And I believed wholeheartedly after a few months of self-concept and identity work that I could become the millionaire version of myself. I did $18 million in revenue in under 2 years. Has this last 5 years been all rainbows and sunshine? No, it has not. 2022 was the hardest year of my life since being in this work. I experienced a separation of my marriage, a deterioration of my team, and an emergency lung surgery from all the repressed grief that I didn't allow myself to feel in those moments. But what I can tell you about this contrast, about that year in my life, is that it has prepared me for the woman that is sitting here in front of you today. I've received multiple awards and accolades and trips and accomplishments, but these are not the things that make me so fulfilled. These are not the things that make me so happy. Those things that actually bring me true peace, true love, true joy into my life are the connections that I have with myself and with others, my ability to serve people through this work, and to step into the real version of me that lies within. We have people who have made millions and millions of dollars. We have people who have quantum leaped their life, who have manifested awards and accolades and #1 best-selling books. We have people that are making a significant difference in this world because they're choosing to become an elevated version of them. The biggest thing that I can tell you right now, and the biggest learning from this journey, is please do not underestimate yourself. Please dream bigger and choose grander. And I want to say thank you for joining me, for choosing you, and for allowing me to be the vessel that guides you towards the light that you are being drawn to in this moment. Only love and gratitude. Kathleen.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Kathleen Cameron here. I am so excited. This is probably the most calm and relaxed that I have ever been going into a live event because everything in my life around me is so beautiful. We are here in Beverly Hills, California, so I am officially 8 weeks post-op. And so that means I got the go-ahead to travel at 6 to 8 weeks. So I pushed it right till the 8-week mark to give myself and give my body the rest and the recovery that it deserves, that she deserves. And so here I am traveling again. And so we're in California. And the most beautiful, special part about it, we have 444 people live right now on the Zoom, in the Zoom room. I love it. So welcome everybody on the Zoom room, and then welcome on YouTube too. We have a lot of people watch on the YouTube live stream now too. So anyways, but the most beautiful part about this is that I am here in Beverly Hills, California, and I have my babies with me. My 2 girlies are here with me. We flew together. They're gonna be with me for a little while. Oh, I gotta turn my email off. Something's dinging. We don't want that going on. We flew out here together. And we are having a great time. They understand mommy's got some things to do, but you know what? They love to sleep in. When they become tweens, they love to sleep in. So when they're little babies, they wake up at ungodly hours in the morning at 5:30, 6 a.m. And then once they turn 10, 11, 12, you can't get them out of bed at 11. It's like polar opposites. Anyways, so it's working out beautifully for us, and we're gonna go out and do some fun stuff later on this afternoon after I do a workout with Eric, because I'm back traveling and I am back in the gym. So really excited. So I want to welcome everyone. This live event is, I'm gonna cry already. Okay. Whew. I have transformed my entire life. I've transformed my family's entire life. I've transformed my entire team's life through the decisions that I've made. And every day I am blessed with comments and messages, phone calls, letters in the mail of all of the people that are transforming their lives through my decision to transform mine. So this is why it's emotional. It's one thing to impact people. It's one thing to impact yourself and to change your life and to be like, you know what, I'm happier today. And I've got more money than I had yesterday. And life is much more free. That feels so good. But what I will tell you is there is a spiritual currency that comes with impacting other people in the same way that no money can measure up to. No amount of dollars in the bank. Touch, the feeling of when someone sends you a message and tells you how your courage, your bravery, your boldness, your discomfort has led to their discomfort, to their boldness, to their risk-taking, to their freedom, peace, transformation. So when I thought about this live event and what I really, really want to do out in the world and what type of legacy do I want to leave and what sort of impact do I want to make, I really want every single person that comes in contact with me to realize their ability to transform their lives and that is within them. And I want every single person that comes in contact with me to transform their lives, to then transform others' lives, to then transform others' lives. So we're at a place right now where this world needs people that want to serve, want to help, want to benefit others, and that want to lift other people up. And so I have been so blessed to have been given this opportunity. But if I'm being 100% honest with you all, in the most beautiful and loving way, because when I coach you, I will coach you, but I will do it with love. But God can literally put this in front of you. God can literally say, this is what I want you to do. And you will look the other way and stay where you are because you are not comfortable enough to get outside your comfort zone. You do not believe in yourself. You do not think you are worthy enough. You are falling for the lies. And so even though you are given the opportunity, many of you will not take it. Many of you will actually stay in the same place. And that is where my role is to remind you that you are bold enough, you are brave enough, you are courageous enough to take the steps to transform your life and then to impact people around you through that transformation. So that is, to me, what empowerment is all about. Helping you all to tap into the power that is within you, to empower yourselves, to take bold action, to become uncomfortable, to actually leave the safety of the box that the world has created around us, and to free yourself from the cage of your own thinking and to create your own reality. And so when I sat back and I thought about this live event and what I want to do here, I want to be really, really honest about my transformation over the past 5 years. But I also want to be really honest about what it took and share with you some of the things that I had to do in order to get here, some of the things that I have had to overcome to get here, but some of the miracles that have happened as I do that. And so has there been contrast? Yes, but has there been the most incredible magic and miracles that have occurred for me? Yes. And I want you all to make space and leave room for the magic to come within you all. So welcome. It's probably going to be emotional. I brought myself tissues because I was sitting out there this morning thinking about what I was going to say, and I was getting emotional even thinking about it. So I was like, oh man, okay, we're going to bring the tissues. But emotion is the gateway to transformation. And so through allowing ourselves to become emotional is where the truth and the realness of who we are comes up and comes through. And being emotional and being vulnerable is actually the strongest, most empowered thing that you can do. So if you feel like emotion or vulnerability makes you weak in any way, I want to prove otherwise for you. That your strength will actually come in your ability to be vulnerable and to share and to be brave and to be bold and to show your emotions. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's do a beautiful prayer together before we get going. This is a prayer that I do on every live event. So if you've been on with me before, you will hear this. It is from Neil Donald Walsh in Happier Than God, which is obviously a channel. So this is a beautiful prayer that God wrote for us. through Neil. So you can put your hand on your heart, you can close your eyes, you can connect with spirit in any way that feels good for you. But this is a beautiful thank you out into the energetic world around us to allow us to call in more things to be thankful for. Thank you, God. Thank you for this beautiful moment and this live event, and for this life and for the wonder of this moment. Thank you for everything that has ever happened to me, is happening now, and ever will happen. For all of it has produced the perfection of this next breath and the glory of who I am now going to be. Beautiful. Amen. What's so beautiful about this too is I want every single one of you to write down today's date on the top of your paper. I hope you're all taking notes. If you're not taking notes, you can transcribe this later. You can audio record it, but what I do want you to do is to take note of the date, August 21st of 2025. The reason I love to do this is the energy with which we do a thing solidifies the actual occurrence or reality of what will come next. So if you make the decision that August 21st of 2025 was the day that your next level transformation began, then that is a decision that you are making. That is an outcome you're solidifying, and it is the beginning of all creation. So it doesn't mean that any transformation that you've done before today doesn't matter. It just means this is the beginning of the next iteration for you. So several members of my team and several students know their date that they began their transformation. They know the date that that next iteration of them came through. And sometimes it's the day that they found me in Diamond Academy, and then sometimes it's the day that they read a specific book, and sometimes it's the day they enrolled in the Millionaire Program or joined my inner circle. Whatever that is for you is fine, but knowing that date will be very, very important also for our homework at the end of today. I have a beautiful homework exercise that is going to allow each and every one of you to tap into your transformation and decide what that is and what that means for you. A little bit of housekeeping. So yes, this live event started 2 hours later than normal. We are used to doing the live events from 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Eastern. And now that I am in Pacific Standard Time right now, I'm in California, it made more sense to move it to 12 o'clock. So if anybody's missing out or was waiting 2 hours early, our apologies. But I also think that it's very, very good that we shake up the paradigm. I think it's very good that we change the times, we maybe change the dates, we maybe do things different so that we don't get too comfortable with the exact same thing in the exact same way every single day, because that's our comfort zone and we want to be okay with getting outside of it. So I thought it was really beautiful for us to shake it up a little bit and change the time for a little bit later in the day. And then for those of you that are on different time zones that other time didn't work, you're probably very grateful that it's a different time zone. I am, because it would be 7 a.m. for me if we kept the other time, and I've done it many times before, the 7 a.m. So trust me, I would have been just fine. But the extra 2 hours worked beautifully for me. I sat outside this morning watching the sunrise with my matcha, listening to my God playlist. The number of people following that God playlist is growing rapidly. Soon enough, I'm going to have this business of what do they call that? The people that create playlists on Spotify and they have businesses out of it. That'll be me. But anyway, the God playlist, if you want the link, Jen, can you put the link in the chat, or a member of the team put it in the chat? Thank you. It's just a Spotify playlist, and God puts on music for me. Suddenly I'll be listening to some, like, I don't know, rap music, and then all of a sudden God will put on like a meditative song on Spotify, like out of nowhere. Like the Spotify algorithm, it's not doing that. And so I know that I'm being guided and directed through music. And so every single time God has ever put us on a song for me, I put it in the playlist. So you can go and follow it and have a listen. It is a beautiful, beautiful playlist. I wouldn't say it's Christian music, no. I would say it's spiritual. So spirituality encompasses all religions, right? Spirituality is a broader perspective of encompasses all belief systems. It encompasses everything. So I would say it's a spiritual playlist. Will there potentially be a Christian song in there at some point? Why not? I think I might be playing one today for you at the end, actually. But it doesn't I don't identify as any religious affiliation. I just love music. And if the words hit and the vibration hits and it makes me feel good, I'm going to play it, no matter what type of genre it is. So that's just acceptance and all love. Anyways, so we're going to be here 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Today and tomorrow. I'll have homework today. I will have homework tomorrow. I'm not going to talk to any of you about any of my courses, enrollments, retreats, nothing until tomorrow afternoon, so that we can focus on the energy of this live event and the teachings. I always get a lot of questions, people asking, how can I get involved? How can I show up? What can I sign up for? We'll tell you that tomorrow. Just hang on tight. Chat with the team if you feel called to, but I'll let you know some beautiful things that we have going on tomorrow, some new things that we have going on. I'll talk to you about that tomorrow. I do have members of team that are with me, surrounding me, supporting me, and the students here at Diamond Academy and our entire Diamond Academy family. And our team is here to make sure that you get what you need from this live event. So if there is any questions, if you need the Zoom link, if you want to know what the homework was, if you can't get the playlist, whatever it is, you can reach out to the member of my team that is kind of like affiliated or linked up with you. Every single one of you, we have a system that actually connects you with a member of the team, and they send an email or a text just introducing themselves, so you know who you can chat with. My goal and my vision for this life was that as I'm growing and ascending and taking people along with me for the ride, when someone finds us and says, you know what, they raise their hand and they say, okay, I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to become an ascended version. I'm ready to become the best of myself. I want every single one of you to be like, oh, and at Diamond Academy, the person that I'm connected to on the team is Deborah. And the person I'm connected to on the team is Jennifer. And the person that I chat with is Shauna. And I want every single one of you to know that you have somebody that you can reach out to and ask questions. And when you're ready and you want to get involved, you know exactly who to call. And I wanted you to have that feeling of support, that feeling of knowing that somebody here is always here to answer your question. So if you don't know who that is, you can reach out to us. You can put it in the chat just saying, hey, I don't know who my team member is. I'd love to know who I can chat with. And then we actually have a place where you can actually connect with them directly and book a call to chat with them and get to know them. So I have manifested the most incredible team members. Every single one of them is a student of mine. Every single one of them has transformed their life. And you're actually going to hear from one of them today. Jennifer Underwood's going to come on today and share a little bit about her transformation, because it is a beautiful, beautiful story of transformation. So I'll chat with her at about 11 o'clock, and then you'll get to know a member of my team a little bit too. But I have the most beautiful team ever. And they are all from all over the world, all different genders, all different races, because we are all one. We are all one. And so every single person on my team has a desire to help others grow. They will ignite your fire. They sure will, Jasmine. I love that. They sure will. So if you are a member of my team, please put up your hand for a moment, just so you all can see that these are the members of my team. We do have some imposters sometimes that like to say that they are on my team and they're not. So every single person is on this Zoom today and they have a background. The other piece too, they will have Diamond Academy emails. So if somebody comes to you with like a Gmail or a Hotmail account or something, that's not affiliated with us. They all have a Diamond Academy email with us. So say hello to my team, wish them lots of luck. If you haven't reached out and chatted, I would highly, highly suggest that you do. They're here to support you. They're here to help you grow. And if you are on this live event, I am assuming that you are someone that wants to advance your life. You want to transform. You want to change. You want a new experience. And so they're here to help you to get that. And the most beautiful thing about mentorship, about leadership, about getting guidance from others around you is that they are not inside of the box, they're outside of it. And so when we are living the life within our own box, we don't always have the awareness or the perspective that someone from the outside might have. And our friends and our family, while they mean well, they will give you their perspective and perception based on their own belief systems within their own limitations. And they might not have your goals. They might not have your dreams. They might not have your level of self-belief. They might not want to change the world like you do. And so the members of my team have removed their limitations. So what that means is they're not thinking from a limited mindset. They're thinking from potentiality. They're thinking from greatness, and they're thinking from seeing that greatness in you. So when you get on a call with my team, they're not seeing the story you tell them. They're not seeing all the limitations that you believe in. They're not seeing the fear that's keeping you small. They're actually seeing the truth of who you are. They're actually seeing possibility and potentiality, and they're actually seeing the reality of what you are destined for. And so if you are afraid of chatting with one of them, or you feel a little bit nervous about it, or you avoid them, just pay attention to that. Why is that? Why wouldn't you want to talk to somebody that's going to lift you up, light you up, and show you all the ways in which you are powerful and successful? It's probably because you're afraid. It's probably because you don't want to grow. You want to grow, but you're afraid to grow, or they're going to take you outside of your comfort zone. So really allow yourself to step into this feeling of transformation and what that would look like for you. And August 21st is the beginning that we all began our next level of transformation, including myself. So I'm like, what is next for me? What do I want to be my next level of transformation, right? Okay, thank you team. Reach out to them if you have questions, if you need anything. They are here to love on you and support you, but also give you a little push to become your best. So they might recommend some homework that influences you to think from possibility instead of limitation. So it's beautiful. The other thing that I would love to do this morning is if you could please let me know in the comments if this is your first time on a live event with me. The reason that I ask that is because if you've been following me for a long time, you might know a little bit more about my story and where I've come from. And the transformation that I've had. But if it's your first time, I'll go a little bit more in depth and share a little bit more about this transformative journey of mine as we go through the content that I'm going to deliver today. A lot of first times. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is beautiful. Welcome. This can be a life-changing experience for you over the next 2 days if you let it be. So if you really enter into the spirit of these ideas, if you really, really allow yourself to feel the feeling of the collective energy today, right now, this can be life-changing. So allow yourself to have an open mind, allow yourself to receive some of the things that I have to say. And then I just want you to really think from the place of like, what if this is all possible for me? Right? So sometimes what happens is as I create more and more success and as my life changes, sometimes people will experience the feeling of you're too far away now. You've done too much now, Kathleen. Like your life is too different, or it's not relatable. I can't relate to it. And I want you to just allow yourself to ignore that feeling, because the woman that I am today, she is still here. She's just allowed herself to expand into an elevated version, to have these experiences that I never would have thought back then I could. But now I realize that it was always available, and it's available for you all. Success is not reserved for a few. Success is actually for everyone, everywhere, if you so choose to have it. But let me share a little bit about me. Oh, and I'm interviewing Jen at 10 Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time. I said the wrong time. See, I said 11 because I'm on the old paradigm of the old times. So we're going to interview Jen in like 30 minutes. How about that? Okay, let me go into a little bit of storytelling with you all right now about my transformation, okay? So you shifted, get with it. Okay, yeah, I'll get with it. I love this. So 5 years ago, 5.5, I'm going to say, I don't even know now. Time is just not really real, but we'll go with it. Not long ago, I was a very, very different woman living a very, very different life. And so what I mean by that was the experience of what it meant to be Kathleen Cameron was a very different experience of what it means to be Kathleen Cameron today. So my experience of life has transformed drastically. So in 2019, I lived in Guelph, Ontario, okay, in Canada. So if anybody's from Guelph, shout it out. Beautiful. I actually ran into somebody sitting next to her on the bus to go get my rental car at the airport, who is in Guelph, Ontario, who follows me. She chatted with me for about, 10 minutes. We sat next to each other and we were chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting. And then she goes, "Are you Kathleen?" I said, "Yes." And she's like, "I've been following you for like 5 years, 6 years from the very beginning." And I was like, I love that. It took her a little while to figure it out. I wonder what I said that made her realize. But anyways, so Guelph, Ontario is where I was living in 2019. And Chris and I, who was my partner at the time in life, in marriage, his father of my babies, we were living together at the time, and we had actually downsized into a smaller home, and I had just quit my nursing career. So I had been a nurse for 12 years. I had worked myself up the healthcare administration ladder. I was a registered nurse, then I went to charge nurse, then I went to nurse manager, and then I went to director. And I had been in university for over 9 years, 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. And so I was always seeking. I wanted the next promotion. I wanted the next degree. I think I had something like 7 certifications. So I was constantly doing things. Right? I was constantly booked and busy. I was constantly on this idea that I have to grow, I have to do more, I have to seek more. And so my life was literally constantly doing things. I started a side business on social media, selling products and building a business in network marketing. I was branding myself on social media. So I can literally tell you that every moment of my life was spent doing something. And what did I have rest and relaxation? Did I have any hobbies? Is there anything that I did for me that I love to do that wasn't for someone else, or wasn't for growth, or wasn't for receiving some sort of accomplishment? No, there wasn't. And so this constantly seeking for things, I realize now, was actually a symptom of what was going on within me. So while I was successful, as many would have said at that time, what was going on within me was not a very good feeling. This feeling like I always had to be doing things came from this feeling that I wasn't enough. This feeling that I was less than, that I was inferior, that I didn't matter, that I wasn't important. And so I was always trying to get worthiness and value. And I was always trying to measure up and hoping that, like, if I just get the next promotion, maybe that'll make me good enough. And if I get the next degree, then I'll have another couple letters next to my name, and then maybe I'll be good enough. And one of the biggest things that was the most challenging for me actually at the time was the feeling that I had about me and my personal relationship with my body. It has been a major part of this journey. And while I used to think that this was actually something that women experience the most, I've actually realized over the years that men actually experience this exact same thing, just more silently. They don't express it or talk about it as much. But I had this relationship with my body where we were like getting a divorce, okay? Like I was not happy with it. I was constantly in this vicious cycle of shaming and guilting myself for the way that I looked, and then trying to do things to fix the problem. And then as I couldn't fix the problem, there was more guilt and shame around my body. So for me, I was always in a curvier plus size body ever since I was a little girl. And I heard the messages that you need to get thin, you need to get skinny, you need to do this, you need to do that. So I carried shame and guilt around in my body all the time, constantly 24/7. And so every single time I looked in the mirror, I felt a very, very sad way about myself, right? So for me, it was this need to become more from this feeling of guilt and shame that I wasn't enough. And so the level of sadness that I felt within myself was completely different than what I feel today. And it wasn't until I actually started to leave the sadness that I actually became more aware of it, because it became so normal, it became so natural that for me, it was just the way I was and the way I was always going to be. And so I didn't even know that there was something else for me. So but just in terms of where I was in my life, I was in this constant hustle and grind and searching for more, wanting more, pushing hard, working 24/7. And then I was also in this place of hating on myself and hating on my body. And so over the course of my life, I had lost 100 pounds like 3 times. And so it was this constant, like, all in, deprive myself, work out like a crazy person, have no enjoyment in my life to release the weight, and then I would let things that I loved and enjoyed doing to come back in, and then the weight would come back. And so it was constant, like, get down on myself to fix it through shame, and then it would all come back again, and then the shame and the guilt would come back. So it was just this overwhelming vicious cycle. And then just in terms of financial ways in which my life was at that time, Chris and I, we downsized. So we moved into a smaller home in a more compressed neighborhood. So we had neighbors right behind us and right beside us to be able to advance our life. And so when I quit my nursing career, I thought, well, because I'm going to be losing an income, we better move into a house that we can afford on one income alone. I would never teach you to do that now. Now it's like I would tell you something completely different. I'll tell you what I would tell you now. But it's so interesting because at that time, I felt like we needed to get into a smaller space because I thought I was shrinking. By leaving my nursing career, I thought I was letting something go, so I needed to go into smaller space. But what I actually want to do is expand. What I want to do is invite more in. What I want to do is call more in. Anyways, so Chris and I went from a two-income family down to a one-income family and moved into a smaller house. We downsized, and we got rid of some of the luxuries and the things that we had been doing before because that's what we thought we needed to do. And so when COVID came around and I started to study personal growth and development, that's where everything changed, and we transformed our life now into the expansiveness of what it is today. Somebody said, I just want to say this one thing because I actually love this so much. Laura says, paradoxically, Kathleen, it is because of your body that I was personally drawn to you. I thought that you were so beautiful and courageous to put yourself out there, showing us another model of success and beauty. I had to let that version of me come though, Laura, right? So the version of me before 2019 was so ashamed of it that if you actually go and find my social media from prior to 2018, it was pictures of my kids and my dogs. There was no Kathleen anywhere on there. Like, I did not want to ever reveal myself or show myself off into the world. And so it was the moment that I allowed myself to be seen, to see my own beauty, to see my own love, to see my own value, that everything really, really started to change. And that's where I really get emotional, because many of you are at this place. Like, some of you might not even have your camera on right now on this live event. And you might not be fully aware of why you don't. But this would have been me. I wouldn't have had my camera on because I didn't want to be seen. Right? And I probably would have been like, oh, well, I'm busy right now, or like my house might be messy, or like something's going on behind me, or I don't want to be seen, or I don't want to be visible for those reasons. But in reality, it was actually the truth that I did not want to see myself. And so I wouldn't even show my camera, because when your camera's on, who do you see? You see yourself. Like, I can see myself right now as I'm talking to you. It's like literally a mirror. So I wouldn't want to turn the mirror on, right? So just notice in yourself if that resonates and if that feels, and just take note of it. No shame, just absolute compassion and love and grace. When are the times that you're not wanting to be seen and where you want to not be visible, right? Yeah. So sometimes it's what we perceive as our biggest flaw that is in fact our biggest power. Laura, that's what I said. I said, like, being a plus size woman became my superpower once I let it be, right? Like, once I decided that that was the truth, that's what ended up happening. But when I was ashamed of it, when I didn't love it, when I thought it was bad and wrong, it was a reason to hide. It was a reason to stay small. It was a reason to not put myself out there, right? Sorry, I'm just reading some of these comments. I feel like I have this extra weight for protection. Not sure why I built this weight and wall around me, but I'm so ready to let it go. Laura, we're gonna realize what that is over the course of these 2 days. Okay. Transformation occurs the moment that you are willing to be seen. The moment you are willing to see yourself, right? So the transformation begins the moment you are ready to see yourself for the truth and allow yourself to move to that place where you're willing to see yourself, you're willing to be seen, you're willing to allow the transformation to unfold and to reveal the truth of who you are. So where are we now? Like 5.5, 6 years ago. Okay. So this duality now I want to show you. This is the transformation. So a woman who was constantly all of her life losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. A woman that continuously felt sad, felt unworthy, that was constantly seeking worthiness from outside of herself, the next job promotion, the next degree, to make her feel worthy, to make her feel loved, right? A woman that truly would go in front of the mirror and speak very negatively about herself, not love herself, would never say a nice thing about herself. And so now, 5.5, I don't even think it's been 6 years. Is it going to be 6 years soon? Yeah. It'll be 6 years in September, actually, since I first started to study myself and let myself see myself for the truth. I now sit here in front of you as a woman that has accepted the idea of being healthy. Okay, it has nothing to do with size. It has nothing to do with a number on the scale. It has to do with the health of my vessel. And so I live my life every single day as a healthy woman. So I move my body every single day. I get enough sleep every single night. I eat nutritious food. I take supplements that my body actually requires, not just a bunch of things to try to lose weight, but things to help my body as it transforms into its healthiest and youngest version. I always say I'm becoming young again. So I've transformed everything in my physical body from, yes, the number on the scale, but also, and yes, size of my body. For those of you that can visibly see that, yes, the size of my body has changed. But what's more importantly about that is the way I treat her is very, very different. The love and the compassion and the grace and the value that I have of my body. I actually value this vessel so much now that I don't want to do anything to treat her badly. I never, ever want to have my body be mistreated, right? I wouldn't want to do that to anybody close to me in my life. I want them to value their bodies and to take care of it. So I treat it with the same love and respect that I have for it. And so before I didn't, because I didn't love and respect it. Before I was so ashamed of it and mad at it that I treated it very badly. And I've gotten sick before from depriving myself of food and vitamins. I've starved myself before. I have taken every injection and supplement that you can probably think of and gone on every single diet program. And every single time it's been to shrink myself so that I'm measured up and I'm worthy. And I was willing to do whatever it took. So I did some of the most unhealthy things I've ever done in my life in the name of health. But what I meant was thinness, to shrink, to become small. So no longer do I do that. I now treat my body with love and respect and do things for it that make it feel good. And I pay attention when it doesn't feel good. Because when my body doesn't feel good, what's it telling me? We don't like that. My body does not like when I give it alcohol. Doesn't like it. I don't feel good. Maybe for a little while, like an hour, 2 hours after I have a drink, I feel a little like relaxed. But then after that, once that wears off, I'm left with this feeling of, I'm not in resonance with it, right? Same thing with coffee for me, same thing with gluten. Same thing with sugar. There's certain amounts of sugar that my body's okay with, but there's other amounts of sugar that my body's like, nope, we don't like you. This doesn't feel good for you. And so it's just about noticing how the body feels, not shame, right? So I don't eat sugar and then I'm like, oh, Kathleen, you should have done that, you bad girl. Like I would have done that before. I would have shamed myself for eating the sugar. Now it's not about eating bad. It's not about eating bad. I actually don't talk about good food or bad food anymore. All food is inherently good. It fuels us. It's just which ones make you feel good and which ones don't. And so if I do have some sugar, so yesterday I took the girls to they wanted to go to this viral bakery in LA and try these fruits they look like real fruit, but they're like mousse, sugary things. Anyways, the girls wanted to do it. They were so excited. They wanted to get the videos of them biting into it. And so I had some last night and I was like, I don't like the way that made my body feel. So I had a bite, I tried it. I was like, okay, we did the thing, we're good. And it was the same thing for them. They took bites of it and then we were like, whatever. We ended up not even consuming all of it. It was more the experience than the actual substance. But yeah, so I feel no shame or guilt about it. I'm just like, you know what? I don't like the way that my body felt after I ate that. So next time there's things like that in front of me, what am I gonna do? Probably be like, I don't think I want that, you know? So now I'm in a body that I truly, truly love, and I'm treating her with that love, and now she's changing to actually match the truth and the natural state of who I am, right? So having released, I think now the scale, it's probably 140 pounds that I've released from my vessel through loving it. And I have so much muscle mass now that I never had before. I have flexibility, I have strength, I have endurance. I can move my body in ways that I never could before. I can climb mountains and I can run for an hour and all these beautiful things. So it's not about thinness, it's about health. It's about stamina. It's about taking care of this vessel. So in terms of health, that's where we're at. 5 years later, it's been 3 years now on this health journey, and I'm becoming younger every single day, which I'm so grateful for. In terms of love and relationships, so over the past 5 years, life has changed. And when we first started this journey, Chris and I were living together, and we were what we would call a traditional family unit. And over the course of this journey and personal growth and awareness and us stepping into our best in ourselves and really getting to know one another, that actually took us on 2 different paths. And I have become a version of myself that I love so much that desires a certain way of life and certain type of romantic partnership and relationship. And Chris has done the same thing. And what we realize is that while we have loved each other so much and want to still have a life together, we want that life to be different than what it was before. So Chris and I are no longer in a romantic partnership. We no longer live together, but we run Diamond Academy together. We co-parent our girls together, and we are very, very much still beautiful friendships in each other's lives, and we support each other in many, many ways, and we support each other in our growth. But what we've realized is some of the things Chris desires for his life and what he desires in romantic partnerships and relationships is different than me. And so we continue to do life together in a way that feels really beautiful for us. And our separation of our marriage wasn't a separation at all. It was actually a transition, it was a change, it was a progression, it was an evolution into a relationship now where we feel like really supported by one another, where we really love one another very, very dearly. It is just no longer in a romantic way. And what's so beautiful is we are showing our daughters that we are still a family. We're showing our daughters that no matter what relationships look like, that you can still have unconditional love for one another and you can still be there for one another, right? And so our relationship now is really beautiful, yes. And at Manifest Toronto, we had the beautiful opportunity of being up on stage together. And Chris did a breathwork session in front of the group, and in that moment I felt so much pride, because if we had have tried to fight for an old version of us, he wouldn't have become the man that he has become through this work and through us changing and transitioning our relationship into what it is. And so now Chris has become this conscious, aware, divine, masculine version of himself, and it's been so beautiful to watch. So in terms of relationships in our lives, sometimes we say people will leave our lives and some relationships will change, and transformation will have that happen. But I can tell you that it will happen in the most beautiful way, and it will happen in the most conscious way. And it will absolutely allow you to experience the full expression of who you are. And that I did that through the independence, living alone for the first time in 2022 when I moved out. And I lived alone for the first time, and I had my girls every other week. And so that week that I was alone was the week where I did all the work and all the growth, and I grew. So it's really, really beautiful. And then now Chris and I have been, we are no longer in a romantic relationship for about 3.5 years. And now I've welcomed love into my life again in a new way. And so I have a beautiful relationship in my life right now that I am so happy for and so grateful for, and learning how to be KCB in a new relationship in my life. And so I'm growing. Relationships are all about growing, but what I can tell you is that I do have an overwhelming amount of love in my life, in personal and in romantic relationships, and I'm super, super grateful. So I'm just going to say that out loud, because I don't know that I have necessarily said that, but I will say that out loud. So if we're talking transformation, I want to give you the truth of it. Some things I want to remain and keep private, of course, in my life. But I do want you to all know that it will end whatever way that you want it to end, and it will be a beautiful thing for you. So anyways, that's that part. But let's talk about the financial part, okay? This is a part that people are like, what on earth has happened? What on earth has gone on? And what I want you to really, really realize here is that potential is infinite for you if you choose to allow yourself to see it. I was a woman that made on average $3,000 to $5,000 a month, whether it was in my nursing career or it was in my my side business, my side hustle, my network marketing business, and I was set between that $3,000 to $5,000 a month paradigm, that view of the world, right? It was a place to live and exist. And it kept staying that way no matter what I did. Quit my nursing career, go full-time on my business, and my business made the same my full-time career made. No coincidences. That's my patterning. That's my programming. That was my frequency of vibration I was operating on. And then I started to challenge it. I started to push it, right? And then I had my first $20,000 month. Then I had my first $50,000 month. Then I had my first $100,000 month. And we've just gone up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So in the past 5.5 years, Diamond Academy turned 5 on July 1st. So we're just over 5 years. We have done probably now, I'm going to say $45 million in revenue in the business through that time. Now I own multiple companies. I own three companies. With Chris, I've got my own company, and then we are investors in other companies. I probably have 7 or 8 streams of income coming into my life right now. Money comes while I am sleeping. Money comes while I am on vacation. Money comes while I'm sitting on the beach. And so this is the reality of my life today, the transformation, right? To call in $100,000 in a day where I used to make that in a year. I think yesterday was close to a $70,000 day. To bring $70,000 into your life, into your household, into your business in one day, how does that happen? How does that transformation happen? In me allowing myself to be something different that I ever believed I was before, right? I also think about Deborah on my team. When I first met Deborah, we were in network marketing together, and she worked at a school. And I think, I don't know if I'm going to quote it right or not, but I think Deborah was making something like $40,000 a year, something along those lines. And now, like, I know that that's what she does in a month, more than that in a month. And I venture to say Deborah will have a $40,000 day if she hasn't already, right? Because she's willing to tap into the version of herself that would be open to receive that would allow that to come into her. There's an empowerment, there's a confidence, there's a knowing, there's a certainty, there's decisions that you need to make. There's a version of you that you're willing to become. There's a discomfort that you're willing to step past in order to experience that. We're going to talk to Jen in a few minutes too about her life and how that's changed. But when it comes to your financial life, and when it comes to the experience of life that you have, I want all of you to be thinking from an idea of what you would love instead of what you think is possible. I used to think that, okay, maybe one time I'll make 150 grand a year, maybe 200 grand a year. That would be nice. Did I sit here and go, oh my gosh, I'd love to make 20 million in a year. I'd love to make 52 million in 1 year. No, I never thought that. I didn't think that was available to me. So I'm sitting here in front of you today, and this is why I wanted to do this transformation event, was to tell you that no matter where your starting point is, so I just told you where I started at, there is a reality that exists where you're sitting there telling your story to someone about your transformation and what has happened and all the magic that's occurred in your life and all the ways that you desire it to be. But I had to think from that place. I had to say, I want the best loving relationships that I possibly can in my life. I want to have the healthiest body that I could ever experience in this reality, in this lifetime. I want to experience self-love like I've never experienced before in my life. I want to experience so much wealth, so much overflow that I don't even have enough time to spend it all. I want to experience all of the luxuries that this world has to offer, etc., etc., etc. I want to make an impact in this world. I want to make a difference. I don't want to just help a few. I want to help millions, right? How dare you, Kathleen Cameron? How dare you say that? Who do you think you are? This is the old me, what the old me would have said. The old me would have talked to me like that. This one, I'm like, of course you can. Of course you can. I was on a live stream the other day, and I didn't even know it at the time, so I'll be honest, I couldn't see how many were on it. But we get off the live stream, and it was like something like 200,000 people were on the live stream. I was doing a live stream with Jason Derulo because I manifested lifting up and supporting some incredible people in this world that are doing really, really good work. And so I'm on a live stream with him, and we get off the live stream, and he's like, we're talking about how many people did we have on, and he says something like, oh, the team tells us that we had like over 200,000 people watching on all places. And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't even have makeup on. I didn't even put makeup on, right? So it's just a different way of being within yourself. It's a different way of loving yourself. It's a different comfort level to not feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, that you have to make yourself better to be able to do it. You just show up as it. And so for me, it's like, as soon as I started telling God, you know what, God, I am open and ready to receive the millions that you want me to help, the millions that you want me to serve, and just naturally, I want you to feel naturally, to naturally feel that feeling and allow yourself to be it, is where all the change and the transformation comes from. So you're beautiful without makeup. So are you. Every single one of us, right? Yeah. We're beautiful in whatever we wear. We're beautiful no matter what our hair looks like. We're beautiful no matter how much makeup, no matter if we have six-pack abs or if we have a beautiful, beautiful rolls. I still have these beautiful rolls and curves on my body, and I love them so much. I do not want to get rid of them. I have these stretch marks. My entire stomach is just lines of stretch marks. Yes, now I have a belly button and I don't have the extra skin hanging off my stomach since the surgery, but I have these beautiful stretch marks like tiger stripes that go all along my belly, and I freaking love them. I think they are so beautiful, right? Now we have people that are actually doing makeup looks that are like putting freckles on their face. Whereas once upon a time we used to hide freckles, So our naturalness is our beauty. And if you allow yourself to see it, right? If you allow yourself to see it. Now you're gonna make me cry. Good, I'm shaking it up. No, it's so good. When you get emotional, when you feel it, when I trigger you, when I make you wanna cry, when I make you super happy or excited, when I make you nervous, these are all really, really good signs. Because what we're doing is we're loosening the model. Every single one of us has a certain pattern and program or a certain software that's running in behind us. And so when we start to loosen it and we start to challenge it and we start to say, okay, this might not have to be the way that it has to be, that's growth, that's awareness, right? Chris said something to me one day and it was so good, because I was trying to decide the color that I wanted my new Lamborghini to be wrapped in. Okay, see how natural I'm saying this? Like, I can actually come up out of this body and go back into my old body and like hear myself say, oh, I was trying to decide what color I want my Lamborghini to be. And I probably would have like never ever believed it in 2018, 2019 that I would say things like this. But this is the truth of who I am now. So anyways, when I was trying to decide, every single car that I've ever had in my life has been white. I love white cars. My G-Wagon is white. Love, love, love. And so I was talking to Chris, and I'm like, I really love the way that it looks in white, but I've also been called for matte black. And I was like, but I've always done white, and maybe I want to do that. And he says to me, Kathleen, you are under no obligation to be who you were 5 minutes ago. It's an Alan Watts quote. And I went, wow, you are so right. So in that moment, I was like, matte black it is. So I got her wrapped in matte black. And she's orange and black interior. Her name's Chloe, because the interior looks like the champagne brand Veuve Clicquot, although I don't think it's Clicquot, I think it's Clicquot, I don't know, but I call it Chloe. So anyway, her name's Chloe. I called her Chloe. But what's so beautiful about this is God gave me an opportunity to prove what I say about me is true, right? So I say I'm KCB. Here we are. KCB, she is here, she's abundance, she's prosperity. And then I get my Lamborghini. It was uncomfortable, paid in full for her. I pick her up, I have her for 2 days, and then she gets into a car accident 2 days later, and I haven't had her since. So that's why I'm not posting, because she is being healed right now in the body shop. Yes, I was not driving. So yeah. So God was like, okay, Kathleen, you really are KCB. You really are abundance and prosperity. Let's see how you react to this one. I just let it go. I was like, oh, I guess she needed some fixing. I guess she needed some repairs. All good. I think about the version of myself that is calm under pressure. When I first found out that she was injured, I was very like, what? Like shocked. But before I went to bed that night, I decided just to let it go. Just to let it not be a big deal, to not let it be important, to not let it define who I am or lower my vibration or make me feel any sort of way. So yeah, she's getting her healing, and she will be waiting for me when I get home to Toronto, when I'm there all fixed up. But yes, so just sharing the example though of we don't have to be the same person that we've always been, and that is personal growth and development. I'm going to, after I'm done interviewing Jen, I want to tell you that I'm going to be talking about three different, when I sat down and I asked for direction for all of you. If I was going to give you guidance and direction about transforming your life, what would be three ways in which I would do it? And these three things came through. So I'm going to teach on these three patterns and programs that I see operating in most people most of the time. And then the three patterns and programs that I have now replaced in myself that I want you to replace in you. So the first one is a fear program and an activated nervous system. So most people are operating from fight or flight, from fear, as a natural way of being, a pattern and a program. So the transformation that I'm going to teach you on is how to move into a faith pattern and program with a calm nervous system. Okay? So that's the transformation, that's the duality that I want to take you on. That's the path I took. The next thing is I want you to move from a place of thinking from limitation to thinking from love and possibility and potentiality. So most people are thinking from limitation, from a limited view of the world, and I want to move you into love, which is expansion, which is everything, which is the all of everything, and potentiality, possibility. Okay, so this is where we are not limited. This is where everything is available to us. And then the third transformation, or the third model that I want to reprogram for you all today, today and tomorrow. So this is what I'm going to talk about today and tomorrow. The third one is living from a model where you're reacting to life to a model where you're creating life. Okay, so most people are living reacting to life, and we want to move into a model where we are creating life. So I just want to give you those are the three things that we're going to talk about, those three things that I'm going to teach you to do over the next 2 days. But let's hear Jen's transformation first, because in order for you to fully accept these three changes that I want the three of you to make, the three things that I want all of you to make in your life, you have to see the possibility of it and see how all of us have the potential to do it and how people are actually doing it. And I want Jen Underwood to come on and share now. So can we bring Jen on today so we can chat? Hello, beautiful.
Hi, how are you?
I am so good. I would love to start off. I did not tell you that I was going to get you to do this, but it's okay. Just go go with whatever you feel called to say. But I just want you to introduce yourself to this audience from who you believe you are today.
Whew, 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 whew. I'm Jen Underwood. I am an elite level sales coach, manifestation mentor, along with the #1 manifestation coach in the world, helping people change their lives and create transformation, showing possibility, potentiality, and making an impact all over the world.
See, she's been doing the work. See how like that rolled off of her so beautifully and so naturally to be able to say that. Okay, so just a little background about Jen and I. Jen and I actually know each other from our first lives. Okay, so I always say this is like my second life or my second mountain. This is like my second iteration of me. And Jen and I actually met when I lived in Calgary, Alberta. And Chris and I were building our first house. We went into a sales office and we met Jen, and she supported us in building, designing, creating our first house that we built from scratch. It wasn't the one that we lived in. It wasn't our first home that we bought, but it was the first one that we built. And isn't it so cool, Jen, if you think about it, what we did with you in that sales office that day was we began manifesting an idea of a house. And we manifested that home with your help alongside you. And here we are manifesting again in just bigger ways. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, we built a 10-month, it was like a 10-month journey experience together. But I tell people all the time now that that was 2011 or 12, that I manifested you into my life at that point for this reason, 5 years ago, to come into your life again and create this experience together. So it's beautiful.
And this is where it's almost like all of it's like a chess game. The puzzle pieces, they're always there. We just don't understand why they're there or how they happen or how it's meant to be. But I did feel that at the time, even before I was in this work, there was this like special bond and connection that Chris and I had with you, even outside of the sales process. And so, we all stayed connected, and Jen followed me obviously on social media, and I watched her journey along the way. And then we both went into network marketing. I remember that, us having a talk about that. And we were like, oh, you're in network marketing? And I remember when you said to me one day, I don't know if you remember this, you said something along the lines of like, oh man, I wish I had spoke to you sooner and recruited you into my business before like this other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Do you remember that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm like, oh, I want her on my team.
Yeah, I remember that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
But let's go into this transformation piece, because I think it's really powerful what you've done with your life. It's really, really been inspiring. So when you first decided to come and to learn here with me, alongside me, you came into my energy as a student, wanting to learn about the art of manifestation and how to transform your life. Where were you at that point in your life? How would you describe your kind of before version of you?
Yeah, where I was in life. So I was a new home sales professional. So I was in real estate for 17 years, as Kathleen mentioned. She walked into my show home, and I was good at it. I was in real estate. I in the hustle and grind. I was a very masculine energy, go, 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 winning awards. And I enjoyed it. I was good at it, but it was right in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic. And it was so unknown. I was going back and forth to work. I didn't want to work with the public because everything was unknown. And I was I'd say I was in a funk. I was just kind of on this Groundhog Day that Kathleen's talked about before. I was good at it. Was I passionate about it anymore? I don't think so. But I was just going back and forth. And one night I sat on the couch and I said to my husband, I was like, I feel like I need to go back to school. I feel like I need to take a course. Like I was in this funk. I was having a glass of wine. I was eating some sour cream and onion lays, which were my favorite. And it was just kind of an every night thing. And I was like, I feel like I need something different. I need a change. And the next day on Facebook, Kathleen appeared. She was already on my Facebook, but it was just, I was aware she was there. And I was like, what is she doing? Like something's different. And I feel like I need to be a part of this. So in that moment, I made a decision to reach out to her. So you asked where I was. So I was in a funk. I was on a hamster wheel. Is that the right term? Kind of bored with life, feeling stuck, knowing that I was meant for more, but not knowing what that was. I had always kind of come from anxious. I always said I have anxiety. I wouldn't say depression. I maybe would have moments of depression, but be able to easily move through it. So never had to be on any medication or anything. But anxiety for sure, almost on a daily basis. That was just what I thought was just who I was. Anyway, so very anxious. I also was I was a very controlling person. I like things to go a certain way. It had to be done a certain way. That was part of the masculine energy, running teams and things like that. It had to be very controlled. My sisters, all four of them, lovingly called me General Jen. I took it as a loving thing, but I like things done in a certain way. And, but that always didn't feel good. So I just knew that I was meant for more and just needed a change in all areas of my life, but I didn't know what that meant. And then poof, there you appeared. And I was like, I'm ready for change. So I messaged you and you're like, let's have a phone call. So just like you guys are like, I'm ready for a change. Have a phone call with your mentor, because Kathleen, 5 years ago, she was my manifestation mentor because she was so new. Now all of us and the team manifestation mentors are an extension of her that have done the work for you guys, for us, for this expansion of all of us. So
Yes, so beautifully said. And that was, if I think about my growth journey and how I got to this transformation, there was this moment where I had to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I do want more. And I reached out to somebody to say, I'm ready for that. And so that's why I created this model now. Like, I obviously can't get on the phone with everybody now, because there's so many more of you wanting to ascend and grow. So that's why I created this model as an extension of me, of members of the team that are there to support you through that so beautifully. I actually talk about this analogy quite often. There's this video on YouTube. You guys can probably go and find it. Just search up like Will Smith jumping from the airplane video. It's really, really beautiful. Maybe we'll find it and share it like on my stories or in the Facebook group. But in that video, he talks about how the most growth happens in the moment that he jumped out of the airplane. So like, all the way leading up to it, it's like this nervousness, this excitement, this oh my gosh, preparation, getting into the plane, practicing, and then, the plane's taking off. But the moment where the most change happened and the most exhilarating experience was the moment that he jumped out. But what I saw when I watched the video was that Will Smith didn't jump out of an airplane by himself. He jumped out of the airplane in tandem with someone. He had an experienced jumper that he jumped with. That person had jumped how many jumps? Felt it was natural, it was calm, it was like it was easy for them to do it. And so he felt the comfort and the safety in jumping out of the airplane with this person that was the experienced jumper. And so that's mentorship, that's leadership. That's what we've created here, right? And so that's what I say is like, I'm the tandem jumper with you. Jen's the tandem jumper with you. Deborah, Katie, Kaylee, Lauren, and I could go on with my team, Kieran. We have these beautiful tandem jumpers that are here to help you with that jump into your transformation. And that is what our role is to do. So just a little aside. Oh, somebody found the video and put it in the chat. Fantastic. See how the universe just gives me the answer like this? Yeah, so it's everywhere. Fabulous. But Jen, there has been moments along this journey that have been uncomfortable for you. But I would love for you to tell them where you're at today. Like, how is life for Jennifer Underwood today in your world, and what is different? And then we can go in a little bit more in depth of some of the contrast after.
Okay. And first, I want to thank you for showing me what was possible, because when I knew I was looking for something more, you've showed me what's possible every step of the way. So I could go on for a couple of hours to talk about everything, but where I'm at now is completely different. Mind, body, spirit, everything. So it all started in my mind. It all started with very quickly. It can happen quickly. With the anxiety just disappeared. Or now when it comes up for me, I'm able to move through it in a different way. When I go through self-reflection, like when, like watching you move through contrast, I was sitting with her when Chloe had to go into the shop. Like watching you be able to move through contrast was a beautiful experience, because when life happens, we can move through contrast in a different way. We're not, instead of reacting to things, how can I respond? So removing any anger, like the emotional regulation is huge for me. So what you think he might come in for is one thing, but there's so much more that you never even know that you really needed or wanted. So that emotional regulation part, some tangible things. I believe I can get everything on my vision board I ever want. So I've gone on some dream vacations. I've manifested, some physical things. People ask me, do you have $1 million in your bank account? I've had millions flow through my account. I may not physically have it sitting there, but I've had it flow through. So this isn't just about money. This is about who you become in the process, mind, body, and spirit, so that you then become a vibrational match to attract whatever it is you desire to you. So just ask for it. So calming that nervous system is a huge thing for me. My relationship has changed, but it is a beautiful thing. And I've had people even ask me, like, would your relationship would have changed if you weren't in this information? And I'm like, yes, but we would probably not be friends if I wasn't in this information. So it's beautiful. Through Kathleen showing me what's possible, the decision was planted in my mind 5 years ago, but now I'm going through this beautiful transformation too, physically. So something I've desired and called in for a long time, I've embodied health. So alongside Kathleen, she showed me what's possible. It's been a desire for a long time planted in my subconscious. I just didn't know until now how to do it. So over the last almost 2 years, decisions I make, things that I do, the way I move my body as well is completely transformed. So mind, body, spirit. Being able to step into my next level and speak at events with Kathleen, like at Millionaire Day in Toronto, it was a beautiful next level experience. Being asked to speak at events in Calgary from real estate peers and different things like that. It's a next level identity. 5 years ago, I said yes to myself. I was in fear. I jumped out of that plane with Kathleen. I was like, oh, I've never spent that much money on myself, but I know that I'm meant for more and I'm ready to choose myself. If I don't choose myself, I'm going to be stuck. And if I don't, why would I want to be stuck? If you don't make the decision, you're going to stay the way you are right now. So I was ready for something different. And that's what I chose in that moment. That was 5 years ago. Things happened quickly, but over this transformation, it's not just a 6-month transformation, a 6-month program. It becomes a part of who you are. It's an embodiment of who you desire to be. You're growing and ascending continually and making decisions along the way. So it's over 5 years and I'm going to continue to grow and ascend. So I've always been confident, but what I've noticed, Kathleen, I've never shared this with you, but I've always felt very confident, but I think part of that confidence, there was a flaw in there, which I was saying I'm always confident, but there was no extra levels of confidence that I could grow to. So maybe a little bit of ego getting in the way. So I've always felt confident, but I'm like, oh, there's next level confidence that you can exude to help show other people what's possible. So it's a lot of identity work, embodiment, awareness. I didn't even know what the word awareness meant 5 years ago. When you first started talking about it, I was like, what the hell does that mean? And so just, if you're aware that you don't know what awareness means, that is awareness. So anyways, so many different things, but it's not just one thing. Get out of your own way. So the biggest transformation is making decisions for myself and being like, get out of your own way. I never want to feel this way again. And for me, sorry, I hope I haven't gone too far off topic. I do that because I'm so passionate. Emotional impact has been a huge part of my journey. And so 5 years ago, during the pandemic, my job wrote me up for expressing myself fully on social media about feeling stuck and not knowing how to move forward. So that emotional impact drove me for something greater, drove me to be like, you're not going to tell me how to live my life. It's time for me to take control of my life. To emotional impact a year and a half ago on a mountain in Calabasas with Kathleen, hiking, because I've always been athletic. I've always done sports, but I couldn't make it up. I'm going to swear, if that's okay. I couldn't make it up, or effing, I guess isn't really a swear. I couldn't make it up the hill. I did have a cold, but that's not, my excuse was I had a cold, but really my vessel was not in healthy space. I didn't have the endurance. Shannon and Katie helped me up that hill. It was That's kind of the tandem jump, but it was not jumping. We were climbing, but they helped me. I cried up that hill and I said to myself, and because I don't give up, I don't give up. I was making it to the top of that freaking hill if I had to crawl. And I said, Jen Underwood, get your shit together. Sorry for the swear, but get your shit together. When you make it to the top of this hill, you are never going to feel this way again. And the only one that can help you do this is yourself. So I made a decision in that moment to change my life in my next level. So 5 years ago, I changed it in many ways, but a year and a half ago was get your shit together. This is next level Jen, and she's ready to come. So I want that for everybody. Make a decision for yourself and get out of your own way. And it was the most emotional, impactful moment of my life. And sorry. And thank you, Shannon and Katie, and for Kathleen for showing me the way. And now, sorry, Jen cries now. Masculine Jen didn't. So the emotions I allow in, and I allow myself to feel, because feeling is the secret. And Kathleen showed me that that's possible. And it's okay. It's okay to feel.
Beautiful, Jen. I hear an echo. I don't know why I hear that. I don't know if anybody else hears that now, but I can hear myself coming after myself. So weird. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, maybe mute yourself, Jen, and see if that stops the echo for me. I just also want to touch on what's really, really beautiful is like our life transforms according to some of these most pivotal moments. And so Jen so bravely just shared that moment of herself climbing up that hill. It was actually Solstice Canyon in Malibu, California. And it is a challenging hike. It's one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever done. But I'll never forget that day, because for me, I knew what was going on behind me. I knew that there was a member of the team that was coming up that hill that was kind of struggling with it. And I knew that other members of the team were supporting her and being there with her. And I just held the image and held the faith that I'll see Jen when we get up to that top. And we did. And that moment, that day, while in the moment, she experienced contrast. She experienced what felt like probably was, well, that was really hard, and like, it shouldn't be that hard for me, or whatever. But what actually came out of that was a more empowered version of herself. So Jen has transformed her health since that day. It was the catalyst to allow her to love on her body in a completely new way. And so she looks completely different as well. She has released that extra heaviness that was hanging on to her. And now she's out here hiking and walking, and she was even dancing this morning on our dance party. Oh, it was so good. So I just want to really like solidify that. It's like, you might be in the middle of climbing your mountain right now, and you might be mad at yourself, and you might be upset, and you might be crying, and you might be feeling some kind of way, but I want you to realize that, it is in those moments where you choose to then allow this elevated version of you to come out. It's in those moments where you grow, where you become your absolute best. And so Jen is just an example we wanted to share. And then financially too, Jen has had incredible shifts in her financial life and did a beautiful safari in Africa and manifested some really, really incredible things. And now she supports other people in that. And what we have seen in our community is magic, literally, everywhere around us. And we're so, so grateful. Jen, I'm so grateful for you. Any last words that you want to say to anybody that's at the beginning of their transformation journey?
Just get out of your own way. Make a decision. Let today be the day you change your life. We are all meant. We are all, every single one of you. If you feel like I'm speaking to you, I am. I'm speaking to every single one of you. We're all meant to live a happy, joyous, fulfilling, abundant, healthy life. Every single one of us. And if you're not, it's possible for you. It doesn't mean, like Kathleen in her first videos, she said, it's not all rainbows and sunshine, but we're going to show you how to move through it as the human contrast comes up. That's what it's about. It's possible for you. Whatever the transformation is for you, whatever the limiting belief is that's holding you back, it might not be a heavier size body. It might be that you're you're old, or maybe it's your race, or that you're not smart enough, but just make the decision for yourself today that you want something different for your life, whatever that is, whatever that is. So you're muted.
I'm chatting away and I'm totally muted. You gotta unmute yourself to make yourself fully be heard. Okay, you guys. But thank you for everything that you are doing. Thank you for the growth and the work that you're doing, because the service that you provide here for the world is phenomenal and outstanding. And really, it's just the beginning of the transformation for us all. So we have so much good to celebrate and so much on our way. And thank you so much, Jen, for sharing. We really, really
Thank you for everything, my friend. Thank you.
I also want to address a comment that was in the chat, because I think it's really, really beautiful. Many of you are responding to it, so we're seeing it, and I want to talk about it because I think it's beautiful growth. So Misha, thank you for sharing your truth and what is on your mind, because I think it's going to help a lot of people. So Misha says, to be honest, I do not mind this talk, but I am more inspired by people who have gone through real poverty. I have currently had weeks with less than $20 in my bank account. So what initially comes to mind for me is that all experiences are real by the individual who experiences them, right? So no matter if your idea of poverty is less than $20 in your bank account, or whether your idea of poverty is 100 in your bank account or 1,000 in your bank account, it doesn't matter. It's that you're thinking from a poverty idea. It's that you're thinking from a limited idea, a lack and limitation idea. So no matter where our starting point is, it does not matter. We are all the same and we are all one. So what you're actually saying, Misha, in this statement is that you relate to and you resonate more with the stories of people that are struggling more financially than maybe some of us were talking about. And what that means is, for you, is your patterning and your programming is really set there. And you're comfortable hearing about that. And so it's not a bad thing, but I want you to see that no matter where we're at, it's only real and true for us because we make it real and true. I'm going to flip it on its head a little bit just to give you an alternate perspective of what you said. So I currently have weeks with less than $20 in my bank account. There are people around the world that don't have $20 in their bank account. There are people in the world that are at an even lower level of poverty than you are. There are people without electricity. There are people that can't go to a grocery store and get their food. There are people that don't have doors on their homes. They don't have blankets. They don't have beds. They sleep on a floor, right? So we are not at a place where we judge anyone or make any sort of assumptions or feel like we can't resonate with any story. We want to know that where we start off with today is only the beginning of the ascension of the next level of where you become. So if you want to find stories that resonate more with where you're at, you can find them. I actually have a woman right now in Wealth from Within that was homeless, had nowhere to live, and now has manifested a lot of money and manifested a place to live and a new business opportunity. And so those stories are all around you. But what you're saying is there's a naturalness in staying in the poverty idea. And Misha, I don't want you to think from there anymore. I want you to think from the abundance idea. I want you to think from more idea. I want you to think from maybe where we started or where someone else started. And that is how we can expand you into that place. So I say that always with love. Everything I say is always with love. And I'm willing to have uncomfortable conversations for people when they're needed. So I hope that is helpful for you in seeing that no matter where we start, we all can end up in the exact same place. And so we don't have to start here. We can start way down here. Anyways, beautiful. Okay, I want to talk about the first pattern and program that I want you to share. Somebody's AI did a beautiful summary. So I'm over here in the chat and I've copied and pasted it. I'm like, oh, this is really great. An AI software is summarizing the channel that came through me. Anyways, so what this person's AI or what they did, the first thing we're going to talk about is the fear-based program and how we want to move you to a faith-based program. Okay, fabulous. So fear-based pattern and program. All of us have been taught this. All of us have been taught a fear-based pattern and program. It is the way in which collective consciousness has been molded to teach us how to live. How do I know this? Okay. What is the number one cause of death? Cardiovascular disease. What is the number one cause of cardiovascular disease? Stress. What is the number one cause of stress? An activated nervous system, fight or flight, right? So what that means is our nervous system, the way our body naturally functions is when it feels like it is in danger, it goes into fight or flight. It goes into reactive mode. It goes into defensiveness. It goes into, oh my gosh, there's perceived danger and I need to protect myself. And so what I'm saying right now with cardiovascular disease and how rampant it is that so many of us are in fight or flight. We're in tension. We're in stress mode. We're in fear-based thinking and patterning. We are in reactive mode. We are in defensive mode, so much so that we're having heart attacks. Literally, right? We're creating resistance in our cardiovascular system. There is buildup, there is plaque, there is clogs, there's kinks in the hose of our cardiovascular disease because we are not allowing ourselves to be in a faith-based pattern and program. What does faith do? What is the sound of faith? It's a sigh. It's a let. It's a surrender. It's a no more fighting. It's a no more defensiveness. It's no more pushing back. It's no more controlling. It's no more trying to make it tense, stress, fight or flight. Faith says I'm going to be okay. Faith says I can relax. Faith says it's okay for me to be calm, to stop, to rest, to recover, right? So I love this thought so much so that this idea, this example means so much to me. So, and I didn't hear this anywhere. This is just my interpretation. We are actually born into a faith-based or trust-based pattern and program. When I say faith, I don't mean religion. I mean faith as in a state of being, a trusting state of being, right? To trust that you are safe. Safety and security within yourself. That's a calm nervous system. So when we think about being born as babies, we are born into this world in a trust paradigm. How do I know that? We can't walk. We can't feed ourselves. We literally have to trust that someone will take care of us. Can't do anything for ourselves. So we learned right away that somebody's going to come and feed me. Somebody's going to change my diaper. Somebody's going to put me to sleep. If I cry, somebody's going to come. I'm always going to be safe and I'm always going to be supported and cared for. It is literally the way in which we were born and taught. There's other species that come out of the womb and they're independent and they're good and they're okay. Bye-bye. I don't need my mom. I don't need anybody. But for us, for our ascension, for our humanity, faith and trust is natural for us. And so what happened over time is we learned not to have faith and we learned not to trust and we learned that we have to do it all ourselves. We learned that, well, if you want something done, you got to do it yourself. We learned to be independent. We learned all of these things. This is fear-based patterning and programming that has been solidified in us over the course of years and years and years. And I think, unfortunately, our mind is so beautiful and powerful and easily patterned and programmed that it just naturally, if you give it fear and a fear-based program, it naturally just continues to work from that program. So, and I say unfortunately because the part that's unfortunate is that we weren't taught how to reprogram it. We weren't taught how to control it. We weren't taught how easy it can be to actually manipulate your own belief system so that you can actually live from a faith-based pattern and program and create this really, really beautiful life, right? So what that means to me then is through awareness, through understanding, through the art of manifestation, through the courses that we have here, we're actually teaching people how to create new beliefs in your mind that create a calm and controlled nervous system to move you out of fight or flight. but the mind will literally find what it is looking for. So when you're in this stress pattern and program, you're in this fight or flight, you have higher cortisol levels. Your hormones literally are like, oh, we need to pump out more cortisol because this lady's really stressed today. She needs more of that, right? And so what ends up happening too, if you even think about things like depression. So depression, they say, is a hormone imbalance where you actually don't have the hormones in your body to make you happy. So you're not happy. Well, I would venture to say, actually, as a species, we have no longer allowed ourselves to feel and create happiness in our lives, that our bodies have literally said, we don't need to pump out that happy hormone anymore. They don't want it. So which one is causing which one? I think it's the other way around. So for me, it's about how can I actually turn this around now to say, you know what, body, I don't need cortisol today because I'm calm and relaxed, so don't bother pumping that out. And you know what? I do want more happiness in my life, and I'm going to be more happy, so send me more serotonin. Send me more oxytocin, right? So we get what we ask for, and how we ask is by who we are being. So if you're being stressed, if you're being afraid, if you're being overwhelmed, if you're being frustrated, if you're being sad, your body literally will give you what you are being. It will literally play that game. And the other thing too is the mind, the reticular activating system, is a part of the brain that literally, because we have too much to observe, our mind can't see it all. There is so much going on all around us that our mind has to actually filter it down to less so we can actually comprehend it. So what'll happen if you're in fight or flight is your mind will literally say, oh, we're on find danger mode, and it will literally find danger. It will literally find danger, and it will look for it, and it will identify it, right? So then there's a whole bunch of things in your life all around you that are showing you that you're safe, and yet the mind will only perceive the danger. And so then you keep reacting from the danger. You keep reacting. And it's the same thing with negative people in your life, negative things in your life, negative thoughts in your life, negative experiences in your life, right? If your dominant pattern and program is negativity, you'll see negativity around you. Even the people in your life that are so loving and caring and that care about you so much, you'll look at them and go, yeah, they don't like me. They don't like me. Because the mind looks for what is most commonly given, right? So it's really, really beautiful to think about how you can actually create your own reality by moving out of this fear-based pattern and program and moving into a faith-based or a trust-based pattern or program. So for me, before this work, I was very, very heavily focused upon, how do I not get hurt? How do I not fail at this thing? How do I not be judged? How do I not have people not like me? It was always like, how do I stay away from this negative experience that I don't want to have? And so then that's where this fear is, right? But instead we move over into, how can I allow in this experience that I want to have? So how can I let more love into my life? How can I let more calmness into my life? How can I love more people? And how can I express myself in a more full way? And all those beautiful things. So the first thing I will say then for you, if you are noticing that you are more in a fight or flight, so you're not relaxed and calm, you notice that your mind goes to the what ifs and the negative, you find a lot of negativity in the world around you, maybe a lot of your conversations are spent complaining. Okay, so fear-based pattern and program complains. A faith-based and trust-based pattern and program doesn't complain. So I am not complaining about anything. I do not complain about life. I would never sit here and say to you, oh, I hate this part of my life, or I hate how this person does that, or this never works out in my favor. No way. Even when I go out for dinner and my order comes, and maybe my order comes incorrectly, it's not the way in which I had asked for it, you will never hear me complain. I will never be like, oh, I can't believe they screwed up my order again, or whatever. I literally will just put up my hand and, ask for them to come and say, hey, I actually ordered it this way. Could I actually get it sent back and get it the way that I want? Trusting and knowing that my order will be delivered to me the way that I wanted it to. And sometimes I will even say, if it comes incorrectly, I'll say, I guess I was meant to have it this way. And I'll just eat it the way it came. To not fight up against it, to not make someone wrong, to not judge. The other thing, example I will give you too, is driving. Okay, when we're driving, we've been taught this fear-based patterning and programming is so prevalent in the car. Because what we do is we judge everybody around us, and we get upset and we get mad and we get tense. And so if somebody cuts you off when you're driving, what's the natural response for most of us? What an a-hole. They cut me off. How dare they? So rude, ignorant. Oh my gosh. Okay. The anger, the frustration, the tenseness, that's not coming from the person that cut you off. That's inside you. That is inside you. That feeling is you expressing itself in a moment that you feel like it's okay to express. You're not mad at the person that cut you off. How do I know that? What if they never even saw you? What if they checked their blind spot, they looked 3 times and still never saw you and just went, and they never had any ill will, and then after they did it, they felt so bad, they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to do that. Would you still yell at them? Would you still swear at them? Would you still tell them that they're a bad person? Probably, because it's in you, right? So for me now, when I drive, I am in such a different state, and I can actually tell when I'm in the car with someone that's operating from a fear-based pattern and program. When they start calling people names and they're frustrated and this and that and the other thing, I just sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like who cares? Relax. Like whatever, we're driving. And even like traffic, I just sit in traffic and I'm like, oh well. I was sitting in traffic the other day. We were stuck in an accident. It wasn't the other day. This was probably 2 months ago. I was on the highway for probably 2 hours. And everybody else was getting so mad, frustrated. You could see them. There was honking and like people were like, oh man, oh. I was just like, I guess I get 2 hours to sing and dance. So I put on a playlist and I put on all my favorite songs and I was singing and I was dancing. I had my windows down and people were looking at me like, this woman's lost it. And I was like, no, actually, she's found it all. She's found her peace. She's found her joy in even the most uncomfortable experiences. And boy, did I have to pee. That was the worst part, right? It had nothing to do with how I was feeling. It was like, get me to the bathroom. And so I just distracted myself through love and joy and fun. So anyways, these are just little examples of parts of us in our life that where that nervous system is really, really prevalent and present, and just notice that for yourself. Also, flying on an airplane, how you feel in that as well. If there's turbulence, that's another example that I use. I just sit in turbulence now and hold my drink and I'm like, all right, here you go for the ride, not like ripping at the sides. Isn't it interesting how people are bothered by people at peace? Yes, KJ, I don't know what your full name is. I really trigger a lot of people, and a lot of people will tell me that I triggered them long after the trigger has been gone. But sometimes people will tell me that I do really, really trigger them. And I think it's actually really, really beautiful. I know it's not about me. I'm not doing anything wrong or bad. But what the trigger is, or the activation is simply just an awareness. And so if you get mad at somebody for having a lot of money, it's because you don't believe you have it, or you don't believe you can have it. So if you're mad at somebody for their peace, and you get triggered by somebody that's in a lot of peace, or you say like, oh, they're trying to show that they're peaceful, but they're not really, or you think they're being fake or something, it's because you want peace in your life, but you don't think you have it, or you don't think you can have it. So I just notice, anytime anybody triggers me in that way, I'm just like, oh, okay, I see why I'm being triggered, because that's actually what I want, right? That's actually what's available to me, and it triggers me. Sometimes you might see somebody with like a lot of money and be like, oh my gosh, that's so great, I love it, that's for me. Great. But sometimes it might be, oh, I would never spend my money on that. And if that's your reaction, that's okay too. But why wouldn't you want to have so much money that you could spend it on that? You're just keeping that abundance and prosperity away from you. And so if you're getting angry or upset with people that have it, just notice why that might be. Lynn, I learned to be so much more calm and relaxed on an airplane from you. I'm a totally new person. Fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway, I'm just giving you an example of what it feels like to have a nervous system that's not calm, and how we can move into that faith-based or trust-based nervous system. The example that I gave you all at the beginning about the needing to always be productive, that was an activated nervous system. That was fear-based thinking, right? So me working all the time, 24/7, never allowing myself to have vacation, rest and recovery time off, never allow myself to go and have fun, that was a fear-based pattern and programming running in behind it all. I remember I had a friend, her name was Chris. We worked together. So her and I had the same level of success. We were in the same position. We were both managers in healthcare when I lived in Calgary. And every single weekend, she would take off with her family and they would go have fun for 2 days. They would be hiking, they would go skiing, they would go to the beach. And I used to be like, she doesn't work hard enough. Like, she really just goes away for 2 days and does no work. Like, ridiculous. And I used to look bad upon it. I used to think that was a bad thing that she did that every single weekend. Oh boy, I get it. She was comfortable surrendering, letting. She knew life was working out for her. She knew she was successful. She knew that she was creating what she wanted in her life and she was all good. She knew the importance of joy and family time and presence, right? And so it triggered me. I thought she was wasting her time. I thought she was like lazy. She didn't work as hard, right? So this is, just notice the things, right? So now for me, in this like trust and this faith-based pattern and program, I'm the most successful that I have ever been in my life, but I also go to the spa the most that I've ever been in my life. And I hike the most I've ever been in my life. I sat by the pool with the girls here yesterday. I went shopping on Rodeo Drive yesterday. You know, like, I allow myself to let and surrender and to do and to be, instead of always trying to be productive, to always measure up. The fear was, as if I stopped working, that I wouldn't be successful and I wouldn't be worthy enough. I no longer have that. I now truly, truly know that no matter what happens, I am success. I am impact. I am service. I am greatness. I am love. I am worthy, right? So that's the duality that I want you to see. And like, how is it that I started to work less and I made way more? Because you don't have to work hard to make money. And there's even some people like will still get really, really triggered when I say it's the effortless way. And like, I'll say something like, oh, you know, I make the most money I've ever made and I'm resting the most that I've ever rested. And people will be like, oh, she's lazy. Oh, she's lying. That's not true. Oh, she doesn't work hard enough. Like, you have to earn it in order to be able to do it. You know what I mean? And so I just want to challenge you that you don't have to feel that way. So my activated nervous system, she isn't like that anymore. And I can feel when it starts to come, like when the nervous system starts to get a little bit activated and you feel that like anxiousness or that feeling to move. And that is actually the moment where I know I'm to rest. Not the moment to push, not the moment to force, not the moment to move into fear. And so even like with some of my friendships in my life, Kaylee, she's a member of the team, she does my hair. She is one of the closest people to me in terms of friendship in my life. And so when I do notice fear come up, I call her and I'm not like, oh my gosh, so-and-so did this and that. I'm in it. My fears popped up again. Here it is. This is what I'm noticing. This is what I'm aware of. This is the thing that I'm noticing. And then we work through the fear-based pattern and program and realize that it's actually love. And I move into the loving perspective, into the acceptance perspective, into the let. And I don't make the fear real. Don't make the fear real. Okay, I want to talk about the second model shift that I want you guys to be able to do. The second model shift I want you to really, really pay attention to is when you're thinking from limitation, and I want you to move into thinking from potentiality and possibility. So this is not what do I currently observe, this is what do I love, what would I love, right? So the way in which I used to live life was I would think from my limitation. So my limitation was thinking that I was a registered nurse. Okay, so some people that are in a career or are registered nurses are gonna be like, what the heck are you talking about? Okay, as a registered nurse, I had certain ideas in my mind, certain impact, certain ways that I could serve people. And I didn't want to be in business and I didn't want to sell because I thought they were bad and wrong. I thought it was slimy. So because of that, I wanted to help people with love and with caring. And so I believed that the only way that I could help people through love and caring was to choose a caring profession. And so I became a registered nurse. But in doing so, I was limited because I chose a profession with a cap on the salary. I chose a profession being paid hourly for my time. That's what the limitation was. So being a registered nurse is not a bad or a wrong thing at all. It was beautiful. The way I got to impact people, the way I got to serve people, the influence that I made in my life, the education that I received, the knowing that I have about health and all of that, beautiful. But it was a limitation because I chose a career path that kept me limited in terms of the number of people that I could help and serve, the amount of love and joy that I would bring into my life, the time and financial freedom that were available to me by choosing that career and choosing to remain in that career. One thing that I said in my book, I think it was in The Best of Yourself, the second book that I wrote, was I chose to be a nurse for the impact that I could make on other people's lives and how I could help them in their darkest moments, in their saddest moments, in their sickest moments, right? And so I am very much driven by reward. So helping others is a reward for me. It actually makes me feel really good to help other people and to help them feel their best, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Intrinsically, that's what drives me. But unfortunately, I chose a career that actually didn't take into any account my own personal experience of life. I chose a career where I worked 12-hour shifts, where I was on my feet for 12 hours a day. I chose a career where I now have a nurse's bladder. Okay? You know what that means? To have a nurse's bladder. Where's all the nurses on here? Nurses' bladders are some of the strongest bladders in the world. Why? Because we've been trained to hold it for 12 hours. To not go to the bathroom for 12 hours because we can't leave the patient's bedside, right? Okay, hairstylists too, teachers too. So why do we do this, right? So I actually chose a career that did not bring me joy in my own personal life, that didn't give me freedom in my own personal life. I was thinking from limitation. So what I want you to do is I want you to think from possibility and potentiality. So if I'm the smartest person in the world, the bravest person in the world, the most courageous person in the world, if I had all the skills available to me, all the certainty available to me, all the knowing that was available to me in the world, what would I love to be and what would I love to do? And how would I love to help people and how much would I love to be compensated for it? How many hours a day would I like to work? How many days a week would I like to work? What environment would I like to work in? How much money would I like to make? What sort of an impact would I like to make on the world? I started thinking about helping millions of people. Okay, that's not limitation. Well, actually, it could be. Maybe I should have said billions. So the millions is limited, isn't it? But anyways, but thinking from the millions got me on a live stream the other day with Jason, with hundreds of thousands of people. That would not have occurred had I been thinking from helping 100 people, 1,000 people. It would not. So I had to remove the lid off. I always say remove the lid from the jar. Like, a container, what is a container? A container is something that we put things in, and a container can only hold so much. Let's remove the container fully. What if there was no container? Because that's the truth for us all. And that's what I hope that I'm showing you in this transformation with these transformation stories, is there is no lid. There is no container whatsoever. Life is available to you in any and all ways if you think from possibility instead of thinking from limitation. So I want you to notice over the course of the next few days and the few weeks after this live event, where is my thinking limited? Where am I making decisions from limitation instead of from possibility? So thinking from limitation might look like it's always been this way, so it's going to stay this way. Thinking from potentiality and possibility says, okay, well, what if it doesn't have to be that way? So the example that Chris gave me, you don't have to be who you were 5 minutes ago. You were under no obligation. So my limited mind was telling me, because I've always had white cars, that I should have a white car again. Potentiality and possibility says, well, you can have any car, any color, any place in the world. Doesn't matter. That's the possibility and the potentiality, right? What influence am I under, or who am I under the influence of? Phyllis, beautiful question to ask. Beautiful. I actually say all the time, according to who? It's a question that I've started asking in life in general. Anytime I notice myself, I notice a belief that I have, I notice a feeling, I notice something that feels true for me, I will often just ask according to who. Who said that stretch marks are ugly? Who said that you can't reinvent yourself at 65 years old? Like, who says retirement is 65? According to who? Where did that come from? So these are just the questions that I ask. Who says that one race has it easier than another race? If you believe that another race has it easier than you, you're limiting yourself. Don't let any belief that the world has tried to put on you, do not make it true within you. So that's why I made my plus size body my superpower. I'm very sensitive, very, very sensitive woman, which means I experience emotion greatly. When I'm sad, I am sad. Right? That's my superpower. Manifestation is an emotional game, so heck yes. I can tap into those emotions, right? My superpower. What if your race is your superpower? Your age is your superpower. Where you grew up is your superpower. Misha, maybe the fact that you only have $20 in your bank account makes you so superpower. Like it's your superpower. What if it's the thing that allows you to, that jumping off point that you become your best, right? So that's where I want you all to think from the possibility of what you would love to experience instead of thinking from what you've always experienced. This is the limitation piece. And our mind in and itself is limited. And I want every single one of you to know that there are things going on outside of you that you can't see, that you can't be aware of, that you will never know, you will never physically perceive, right? Our mind is limited. I always give the example. If we think about dogs, they have those whistles where we blow the whistle. We can't hear it, but it annoys the heck out of a dog, right? It's outside of our awareness. There is magic happening outside of your awareness. And if you think that you have to see it all, that you have to prove it all, that you have to know it all, that you have to perceive it all, you're limited. I want you to allow God, source, universe, to do things behind the scenes, and you be okay with that happening. So for me right now, it's like, okay, I would love this experience. I have no idea how that's going to happen, and I have no idea when it's going to happen, but I absolutely know with absolute certainty that there is magical forces of the universe aligning behind my awareness to make it happen, to bring it to fruition. And I'm going to let all of that happen here. And I'm going to stay true to the idea of what I would love. But the moment that I'm like, I can't see it, it's not there, I don't know, I'm immediately turning it off, because I'm no longer thinking from possibility and potentiality. I'm now thinking from limitation. I'm closing the door. I'm putting the lid back on the jar. I'm getting back into the container. Does that make sense? Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to award a scholarship. So you have from today until tomorrow morning, if you haven't applied for the scholarship for Diamond Academy, and it's something you want to do, please reach out to a member of the team for your eligibility. Now, the scholarship is for someone who wants to be in the Millionaire Program or the Modern Mentor Program that does not have the capacity at this moment to pay in full for the entire program. The scholarship is a small amount towards the greater program off. It's like a bursary, so when you go to university. So I had a bursary when I was in my first degree. It was like, I think it was $2,000 towards the $14,000 for tuition. So this isn't about a free course. You will not be getting Millionaire or Modern Mentor for free. You will be getting a scholarship towards the course, and you are still responsible for the remainder payments of the course. When I give something away to someone for free fully, they do not experience the transformation from someone who has purchased it or made significant payments towards it. It is part of investing in yourself, in your worthiness, in your ability to exchange energy towards your growth. So just know that the eligibility is that you will receive an amount towards Millionaire or Modern Mentor, but you will be responsible for the rest of the program after you've been awarded that scholarship. So if you don't have anything towards the courses of the programs, I wouldn't even apply for it, because you will have to make the subsequent payments, if that makes sense. So I will award the scholarship tomorrow. Please also Fill out the form if you need to get in touch with the team, if you haven't introduced yourself, if you haven't met them. Respond to their text messages, respond to their emails, have a conversation with them. They are very, very inspiring. And I would just say, would you decline a conversation with me? If I were to reach out to you tomorrow and say, I'd love to talk to you, would you say no to talking to me? Because they're an extension of me. So I would really, really suggest and recommend that you do that in order to help you to grow and start planning your transformation forward. Tomorrow I'm going to share what's new, what's going on. Homework for today. Okay, this is what I love all of you to do. I will put this question in my stories so that you can see it. So if you want to see it on there, you can certainly go and do that. What I want each and every one of you to do right now is I want you to, so what did I do at the beginning of this call? I told you my transformation story. I told you where I am now. We had Jennifer Underwood come on and she sat here and she told you where she is now today. Well, you know what we did before we experienced this? We wrote it out. We mapped it out. We decided what this is. So what I want each and every one of you to do is to write your transformation story. What will you say on my live event in a year from now? If I were to invite you to come on here, what would you say? Where you are now is what I want to know. So you might want to write out a little bit of where you are today, but I want you to write out where are you now? What is your transformation story? What areas of your life has transformed and in what way? What are the feelings that you now have? What is the confidence that you now have? What does your bank account look like now? What's the feeling that you walk in every day? What are your relationships like? What kind of car do you drive? Whatever. I want you to tell me your transformation story. Okay, like you're getting up on my live event, like you're going to tell it. You can post it on social media and tag me. I would love that. If you want to be a little bit more private, you can post it in our groups. I have a manifested Facebook group you can post it in. That's not fully public. There's like 30,000 people in there, but it's not on your social media platforms. You can send it into your manifestation mentor if you feel called to, or you can just keep it for yourself. Doesn't matter. Tag me though if you do. I'd love to see your posts. So please tag me if you do decide to do that. This work is actually creation. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about no longer reacting to life and creating life. And this is just an exercise to go along there. So this is going to be really, really fun, really, really beautiful. And if we have time tomorrow, we'll do a guided visualization. But please do your homework. Notice if you try to avoid it. Notice if you put it off. But I would get yourself into a really, really beautiful ritualized space, light some candles or burn some sage or Palo Santo, have a nice hot bath, put on some candles, use some essential oils, sit outside by yourself, make a nice cup of tea, and give yourself the opportunity to write this out. You can probably get it done in 15 minutes if you feel called to. Totally up to you. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's judging you. This is just the act of going into potentiality and possibility and starting to create the outcome of where you're going. This is true manifestation and creation in a nutshell. And then tomorrow we will finish off the training. I do have a song that we are going to end with today. Someone very important to me sent me this song yesterday. And it is absolutely beautiful and amazing and incredible, and we're going to listen to it together. Jen, can you tell me the name? Actually, I'll just look on my Spotify, it'll come up, because we have to turn off the live stream on YouTube because we don't have the rights to play the song. Okay, so the song is called Constant, featuring Chandler Moore, and it's Maverick City Music and Jordan Sparks. So you will love this. So stay with us. If you're on Zoom, stay with us, listen to the song, feel the words of the song, feel the vibration, feel the energy, allow yourself to have that emotional rise. We do this for a reason, because I want you to get off this live stream with an elevated vibration, with an elevated belief in yourself, and move out into the world in a new energy. This is the beginning of the transformation. We're going to do it here together. Okay, Jen?